What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Planet Coaster 2 yet again. I actually forgot about the thing that was happening yesterday, kind of like the deep dive, until yesterday. So I saw the entire video. I saw the clips on Twitter. I saw the pictures. I saw all that stuff, and I didn't get myself ready. I didn't brace myself for impact because it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. I've long talked about my weird obsession with water. It's been well documented on this channel, on Podcast Now, and all that stuff. And this game is truly my dream game. I feel heard, in the beginning, and I don't even really like to say that phrase, but I do feel heard. In the beginning of that gameplay deep dive yesterday, they talk about how there were so many fans that were asking and demanding and all that stuff for water features and water, things like that when they made the first game, right? Planet Coaster 1. And that did make me feel, okay, I'm not alone. I might be alone in my weird obsession for it, but in terms of people wanting water park elements into like a management sim game, I think I guess it's more than just me. But I am one of a kind, and maybe Rob Pearson from PlayStation Access when it comes to just water and its look and stuff. So they did the deep dive in the gameplay. I want to talk a little bit about that. Mainly focus, they focused a lot on the water stuff, so I'm going to focus on it. There is the obsession, but at the same time, they talk about some of the enhancements and, even like similar rides that they had in the first game going into the second game. Like, it's going to change a little bit, or it might actually change more than a little bit, right? It might look massively different, but most of what they talked about was the water features, the slides, being able to build them how you want, but you have to keep certain, attributes kind of in your mind, right? You can't make it too, you can if you want, you can make it like a scary type, like where it's too adrenaline high, but you don't have to if you don't want to, right? So you can control the slides, you can change their color, you can change their theming. They're all different kinds of water slides where, maybe some were more like polka dotty type things, some were just straight colors, right, of like red, green, etc., right? The pools you can do it in terms of like actual shapes, and they're relatively easy to just put out there, or you can kind of customize it yourself. There's filtrations. They've thought of everything, right? Like seeing that I believe they call it like the fly trap one, where you come out, in the raft, and you go back and forth and eventually come out. Seeing those things is life-changing, right? Because I've been watching water park, rides, and there's actually some great YouTubers that just go on water park rides, and that's their entire channel. I envy them, and maybe one day in my second half of my life, I'll do something like that for a living. But, I watch that all the time, right? And to see just the different rides of, I don't even know what they're called, but just there's so many different variants, or like the drop slide, all that stuff, right? And then to see it in this game, it's incredible. And it looks really good too. Like, I was trying to like focus on like the minute, details. Like when they got in there and they were like looking at the water, it looks so freaking good. When you're seeing them come out of the slide and flop in the water, it also looks. Look, the physics aren't exactly like 1,000%, and I'm not looking for that. If you could give me a VR ride where I am in it and like the splashes and, like the raft will like lift up and stuff, and you have like a 50-50 shot of falling off of your tube and stuff, like, yeah, that's a different situation. That's a different kind of game, right? But to see them going back and forth, and then you'll fly out of the water, it's definitely good enough for me. And like I said, they're kind of thinking of everything. There's lifeguards. They have their own things that, go along with them. There's filtration systems. You got to keep the water clean, because the more that the people are in the water, the more, it's going to get dirty, and you got to factor all that stuff in. The weather impacts it. So like they can get suntanned or sunburned actually. And so you got to keep like sun lotion, kind of stations all around. It's everything that there's not too much to say, because like I'm sure there's other channels. There's many channels that cover like the management sim scene, and they do a phenomenal job. They'll get into the nitty gritty. I'm here to tell you, I love water, as if you didn't know, and I think it's perfect. It's like everything that I wanted on top of, and I played Planet Coaster 1. I think it's a great game. I think it's a great management sim game. I don't even need it all that, revolutionized or changed, and it seems like they're making improvements where necessary. They talk about like, really focusing on the humans, making them look a little bit different from each other, more diversity, but also just like better, like making them look better. Fine, perfect. Honestly, like, just give me this game. Let me mess around, because as I've said in the past, like, I'm not big into like when you can create your coaster, right? And sometimes you have to like abide by physics depending on which game you're playing and all that stuff. Honestly, I like to just drag and drop. Unless there's a real reason or I feel like inclined to do it, I can tell you I would design water slides, right? So it's like that's something. For like a coaster, I probably would just do like pre-made ones. I'm not really good at thinking about like the ups and downs, although weirdly enough, like when it's water slides, you also have to think about the curves and the ups and downs and all that stuff. And I would do that with the water slide. So give me those tools. Let me go wild with making slides. I'll put in some pools, lazy river, all that jazz, and I could play that game probably forever. So I'm very excited for it, and I hope to continue to cover it, as we get closer. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.